Now, if we had a bit more time than the 20 minutes I've got, we would normally start with the karaoke, a good dose of Daydream Believers and the Monkeys with or without the funny walk seems to make a memorable moment for any meeting. But I have only got 20 minutes. So I'm going to start with a presentation. I'm going to share with you our story. So if you bear with me, I wrote some notes because I like to talk, and I'm keeping an eye on Miranda, who's going to keep me right on the times and all of that. But I thought we would start. First of all, I wanted to thank, I see Ian McDonald out there. I want to thank you, Ian, for this beautiful gift that you've offered me and bringing me into this wonderful family. I thought we'd also start with some of the questions, a quick reminder of these questions that the conference is asking us all. And I wondered just to take a little bit of space to think about where our stories sit within this call to action of this conference. When I was much younger, my family and I went to Australia to visit my brother. I remember phoning one of my Irish cousins from my brother's house in Sydney and trying to explain the time difference to her. When I told her we were 11 hours ahead of her, she was most impressed and intrigued. She believed I had traveled to the future and asked me if I could tell her what her day was going to be like, if it was going to be worth her while getting out of bed, and more importantly, had I seen the winning lottery numbers. So thanks to all of you, as I said, who tuned in on a Sunday, and particularly if you're not of this time zone and living perhaps in the future. And if anyone has seen the winning lottery numbers for this weekend, these are my details and feel free to reach out. But even if you don't have the numbers, I would love you to reach out. I really want to hear from you. I would like you to think about collaboration around the theme of belonging in the context of this. I believe that we can tackle the issues that need to be addressed and the questions that need to be answered by coming together as a global community to share our insights, experience, and resources. I'm intrigued as to what collaboration feels like for you, where you have experienced a collaborative model in education that has led to genuine transformations of your institutions and pedagogies. So while this is my story, I would invite you to also share yours with me. Tell me a story, make me care. We've been led to believe that our attention spans are diminishing, with some interesting research suggesting even a goldfish has a higher attention span than us now. So if that's true, I have about 8 to 12 seconds before you have been distracted. And in many cases, I may already even have lost you. Our ability to tell stories that people care about has never been more important or needed. Tell me a story, make me care forms the basis of one of the learning outcomes of our creative thinking qualification in the senior phase of our high schools here in Scotland. It's a phrase I use a lot. And in putting this presentation together, I wondered about what part of my story would interest you and what resonates with your experience, what you care about. Perhaps you like a story that starts with context. In this case, you might like to know that 2 weeks ago, we were spotlighted as part of the 100 Global Collection, which celebrates the top 100 innovations that they believe are the future of education. It was a huge surprise and a massive honor for all of the Daydream Believers. If context is your thing, then this might also appeal to you. 5 years ago, we used this as our roadmap for the Daydream Believers experience. And we asked ourselves, if these are the skills of the future workforce, then why are they not the bedrock of our pedagogies and our curriculum? Maybe you like a story that introduces you to multiple characters, in which case you might want to meet our stakeholders, our believers. In the last 5 years, we have gathered a community and a collaborative space that brings together business and education to create an experience that moves away from command and control to one in which we are open, we share, we trust, and we do this freely. Daydream Believers is a not-for-profit organization, and all our resources are open source. I like a story that shares personal experiences, autobiographies. This is me with one of my design classes at our exhibition a few years back. I was a design lecturer for 27 years, and a year and a half ago, I gave up my job to work full-time on Daydream Believers. It was an absolute, complete leap of faith. This is what my life looks like in my role as a director on Daydream Believers. Sometimes this is a daily experience. Creative bravery is at the heart of the Daydream Believers experience. It requires all our partners, our learners and teachers to be comfortable with the challenges we encounter. There have been many pit-of-the-stomach moments, as well as moments of sheer joy. But we know that this is part of the innovative process and journey, and perhaps it's something that resonates with you too. So if what I've said so far doesn't intrigue you, then what if I told you this? What if I told you you were about to hear a secret, to be amongst the first group of people who you will share this with? One that involves global brands, an amazing competition, and the launch of a Creative Bravery Reward. So if you're curious, I invite you now to just take a little bit of space, to find, if you don't already have one, a pen and some paper, and to think about the story I'm about to tell you under these three headings: I like, I wish, I wonder. So just to grab a little bit of space and to think about it under those three headings: I like, I wish, I wonder. So let's get back to time traveling and come with me to my kitchen 5 years ago for my Sir Ken moment. Perhaps you know that moment when you believed he was speaking directly to you. In my case, he was. His call for a learning revolution was a call to arms. He knew that if people working within the creative industries could combine with the extraordinary talents of our teachers, we would have the agricultural model we need to grow and develop the diverse, engaging educational experience we all need to thrive. So not long after my moment with Sir Ken in the kitchen, I put a call out to the businesses, teachers, lecturers, and graduates I knew from working in education. And we came together to explore the what if question. What if we could create the personalized curriculum Sir Ken had spoken about? What if we shared the challenges we are dealing with in the real world and created an agile platform that directly shapes and informs the curriculum, giving agency to both the teacher and the learner? What if we created a curriculum that celebrated learners' varied social worlds, identities, intersections, and backgrounds? What if we worked together to give every learner both the ambition to expand their dreams and the capacity to make them real? And that's what we set about creating. We moved from seeing ourselves as competitors to collaborators. We shared a space where we could share real open world challenges, and where we could support teachers and learners to ask questions, celebrate failure, and be comfortable with the unknown. And this is what it looks like. Our website enables you to filter lessons by age, length, and topic. Teachers can go in and download classroom-ready resources for any amount of time. So you see here, there's one there, Creative Bravery, which is 5 hours, but there are lessons there that are just 1 hour, and teachers can take them straight, as it says, into the classroom. Chapter 2. Stay with me. I promise you it's a short story. In August 2021, we introduced a new qualification in creative thinking that has currently been delivered in 20 high schools across Scotland. Although at the minute the qualification is based in Scotland, one of the main reasons we won the 100 is because of our potential to scale with impact. So if one of your I wish moments is around collaborating with us on this experience, then please get in touch. So how does it work? The qualification has 5 learning outcomes that remain the same regardless of the level they apply to. All that changes is the assessment rubric. This is a qualification that focuses on the process and not the product, that rewards failure and develops project-based inquiry. This is a qualification that says to teachers, you have the power to transform your institutions and pedagogies. And to learners, you can be fearless agents of your own destinies. So when you go onto our website, you'll see that it's split into 2 different parts. One is a set of playlists, and other is a warm-up exercises. Exercises for, as any teacher out there may know, that moment you walk into your class and they resemble the living dead. Something as a spark to just get them to think differently. So the first playlist that you see here is one called Creative Bravery. You can go in and you can download this now, but don't, stay with us. You can download this off our site. It has 4 challenges. The first one, circular fashion brand. Create your own circular brand written by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. Van of Dreams, written in partnership with Edinburgh Napier University. You've been gifted a camper van for your community. What does the van look like and how does it benefit your community? And Studio LR, Campaign for Kindness. Who in the world do you think as a young person deserves more kindness? And Thoughts Become Things, reimagine a hospital waiting room. This playlist plugs and plays across an academic year, roughly about 4 50-minute lessons a week. It is, as we said, in the senior phase. And the equivalent to those using just the UK system, a GCSE and an AS. The second playlist, Spaces and Places, has 4 challenges too. The first one, we're working with Lego Creative Agency in London, where they shared the creative process they go about in creating their campaigns and openly shared some of the failures they've encountered. State of Being, written by Acrylicize, that I'm going to share with you in a minute. And Forestopia, where we support our young people to design a theme park connected to the ecosystem of a forest. In April, with the support of Education Scotland and Creative Scotland, we will showcase the same resource for primary, secondary, and working with university students. And finally, Solar Punk Island. You crash land on an aeroplane onto an island that is driven by the 15-minute city concept. How do you survive? And rather like Creative Bravery, this is plugged and prayed across an academic year. So stay with me. Because if a picture paints 1,000 words, I'm hoping as these pictures flash in front of you, I give you an insight into what this experience looks like. But you can go in and download this challenge straight off our website. So all this is a little bit of a taster. It starts like any design brief with a challenge. Our young people are encouraged to think about their own well-being in a very different kind of way, to transform and create an environment. Create 3 permanent artworks and also activate it. We always bring context to every experience we have in Daydreamers. I don't know if any of you have teenage kids out there. I had 2 teenage kids. I mean, I still have 2 kids. They're just not teenagers. And one of the phrases we heard a lot was, what's the point? So what is the point? Well, in telling the story about an agency out there, what they look like, who they are, and some of the skills that are important for this future workforce, for people working in the creative industries, we hope that we excite our young people as they work through this process of creating, in this case, the brief to reimagine a space in their school, putting context to the story, sharing the insights and the work of Acrylicize, as you see here, but also embedding the essential skills, and in particular, being able to be resilient and embrace failure. So in this one, Houston, we have a problem. The students are encouraged and supported by the teacher to completely pivot their idea halfway through the project. with some of the challenges that you see here. We asked them to activate it, to consider ways that people can collaborate and come together and share their insights around well-being, and whatever way this might look like. And in particular, looking at multi-generational experiences. We support the students to work through this process, encouraging them to remember that the process is much more important than the product. So we have, as we said, 20 high schools who've been working with us on this challenge since the start of September. We've seen firsthand how this work works. We've seen them gather mood boards. We've heard from our teachers telling us that they know these kids in ways that they don't know any other class. We've seen the excitement as students have taken on first primary and secondary research, asking teachers, friends, what do they think about well-being? We've seen, supported by the resources, how they can take a space, how they can ask questions about it, and build in essential skills to reimagining what things look like. We've loved all the skills and insights they shared with us, but in particular this one, the sliding scale, where they're asked to think about different moods and how that works. And we've seen that just something as simple and shown to the students how this works can have a powerful impact on them coming up with different ideas. And I'm hoping that we still have time and that we're on time, because I'd just like to show you this 1-minute sketchbook of one of the pupils that has made every single one of us who've worked on this project really, really smile. So I'm just going to pause it there and keep moving on. No, we're not going to go back to it, because I just want to very quickly talk about something that can often be the most difficult part of a new qualification, and particularly one around creative thinking. So many of you will know that the OECD and the PISA assessment, for the first time ever, has put creative thinking as part of that assessment, which is incredibly exciting for anyone working within the creative industries. And we were very fortunate to be at the OECD a few weeks ago to discuss the work that we're doing. What is exciting is this move from this very fixed idea of a product to looking at being able to reward answers that are neither right nor wrong. And to look there, as it says, at creative solutions. So how do we do this? We use a stamp for our formative, our summative assessment and formative assessment, and it works in a really simple way. The 5 learning outcomes are there. This is a D and this is an A. And teachers, as they work with the pupils in their sketchbooks, just simply stamp this onto the work and are able to grade the work and give the students insights on how they are doing as they work through this process. We've also been able to use this to map it against our skills and our workforce. So for example, these are some of the skills and some of the jobs within the creative industries that where people flourish at these particular parts, they may be things that they're interested in doing. We've also created an app that enables the teachers to not only cut their marking in half by automating the assessment process, but also be able to give feedback in a valuable way to our young people. You can put any rubric against this and just map it, as you see here, against the 5 learning outcomes. So finally, coming back into the secret I said that I would share with you at the beginning, we've been incredibly fortunate to work with D&AD. And there may be a few of you out there who know that you would die happy if you got a yellow pencil. D&AD, Design and Art Direction, work with global brands and also with a New Blood competition, which works with our universities to encourage our young people into the creative industries. We are working with them to bring creativity to every school across the world. And in January of this year, we will work with them and join with them to launch the first ever Creative Bravery Award. And Miranda's given me 5 minutes. We're nearly there. And so this is basically the Creative Bravery Awards that will be launching in January 2023. This will be a competition that celebrates a new way to play, a way to create a level playing ground, and will be offered to every school and every learner from 11 upwards to 18. So finally, just to go back to our call to action, I love this paragraph. I love it because it talks about a vision of change. It spoke to me when I left my job a 1.5 years ago. It spoke about not waiting for permission. It is, as Sir Ken said, a learning revolution, and this is our call to arms. Comrades, I truly believe that we all have the capacity to begin to reimagine education together, to collaborate and bring a new sense of belonging to all of their learners that we work with. As they say in IDEO, don't get ready, start. So thank you so much, Miranda, and I'll hand back to you.